Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 356. But before we get to that, can you believe it? The 2020 warehouse sale is all over. It's done, it's in the books, it's in the can, it's rolled up, and it has left the building. Yes, the past week we have been doing the 2020 Scrapbooking Made Simple warehouse sale where, I mean, my gosh, where can you get memory box dies for a quarter? Well, you could last week here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. We have to thank all of the manufacturers who participated for making it possible to bring these types of items and to you for prices that are just unheard of. Truly they are. I hope you all took advantage and enjoyed the savings because they were tremendous, from Spellbinders and Sizzix and Memory Box and Creative Expressions and Do Crafts and Trim Crafts and Kaiser Craft and it was wonderful. It helps put a little polish on 2020, which has not been the best year for any of us. Seeing all of those wonderful dies at those amazing prices just put a little spark back into us, right? Well, if you're just now hearing about the 2020 warehouse sale, bad news, it's all over. I'm sorry, Memory Box for 25 cents is out the door. It's done. But that doesn't mean that there isn't next year. And with 2021, with a new year, brings new hopes and new promises and new opportunities. So I am hoping that 2021, we find ourselves back to being the shop that did not hop, and our retail store is back open in full swing, and we are able to explore whatever new possibilities 2021 has, including, with any luck, a vaccine for all of us for COVID-19. So we have that to look forward to. But until then, if you placed your order during the 2020 warehouse sale, well, if you chose pay later, it's time to start saving. And if you chose pay later and you want to pay for your orders sooner and you don't want to wait for a PayPal invoice to pay with either your PayPal account or a regular credit card, call us. If I'm downstairs and I'm able to answer the phone, I will take the phone and we can take your payment right over the phone, no problem at all. If you want to wait for your PayPal payment, remember, when it comes, it's due. Please don't make us chase you. That's horrible. If you have any concerns, just call us. We don't expect to send out PayPal invoices for a couple months now. The hard work on your end is over. Deciding what you loved in the sale, what you loved in the sale, and what you loved in the sale. Deciding what is it with all that you had to look at, what was the must haves. So your job is over. Now our job begins again, and that will be getting all your orders together, getting all the inventory together, getting orders over to the manufacturers, waiting for them to pick, pack, pull, and ship us the orders, the inventory, and then we take an inventory of it once it gets here. And once we have it all, then we start to ship. And hopefully this year, well, if our retail store continues to stay closed, I'll be able to bring in more of the product from the manufacturers that they're holding for us quicker, because I'm able to use the retail store as a warehouse right now. So if we stay closed, then hopefully I will be able, I can feel my necklace. There we go. I can feel it. It's like tight on my neck. There we go. If we stay closed, then our retail store is able to take in product and be used almost as a warehouse. So it will still take time. It's still a ships when it ships sale. But if you are a pay later, you've got a little while to get all those nickels and dimes and quarters together to take care of that invoice once it comes. The bundles for the Sizzix machines are also bye-bye, so I hope you took advantage of those because they really were wonderful. And today what we have for you is absolutely wonderful. It is using a product that it's using a few things that many of you already have in your arsenal, your crafting arsenal. It is using stamps that were so very popular and then kind of went on the wayside, but you may already own them And it's using a dye that if you looked at, you'd go, what? Say what? Yeah, because it really is not necessarily the most inspiring of packaging or dyes, but when you see what it does, it makes your heart full. And I want to say that this dye came out before or almost before any other dye like this on the market. Really, they were the first to really bring this concept to market, and then many looked at it and said, ooh, and then either tweaked it or changed it or added to it. But I think this is probably the OG, the original. So we'll have to wait and see. This is definitely a technique-based class. You may want to take notes. At the very least, you're going to want to write down what YouTube number this is. And if you do choose to place an order, you can always put the YouTube number in the notes section of the order, because that goes on your packing slip. And when your order gets to you, right out there on your packing slip, it tells you what YouTube to look for. Okay, I've got Winter Chicken Dinner to tell you about. I have got the July Simply Botanical from Hero Arts and Scrapbooking Made Simple. I know it is no longer July, it's August, but I held it back because I didn't want to release it during the warehouse sale. I didn't want it to be part of a ships when it ships sale. So I held it back, and now it'll be available just a wee bit late, but but it'll get to you much sooner. By me holding it back a couple days means it's going to get to you months and months and months sooner. Since this YouTube is not a ships when it ships sale, we are back to being our normal Scrapbooking Made Simple, whatever normal is for us or for any of us these days. So I've got Art Gone Wild, I've got Tim Holtz, I've got colored pencils, I've got New Versus stamps that are exclusive, and I've got that collaboration between Hero Arts and Scrapbooking Made Simple, Simply Botanical for you. I am going to pause for just a moment before I get started, just in case you want to run and get a piece of paper and pencil, because this is definitely a note-taking class. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This is my pause face. Are you back? Can I stop? Okay, I can stop. All right. Now, Winter Chicken Dinner. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. And this is from YouTube number 355, which was the 2020 do's and don'ts of the Big Shot machine. And it really went over the family of Sizzix Big Shot machines, whether it be the fold away or the plus or the express or the standard Big Shot machine, and that it doesn't matter what color your machine is, if it's blue or pink or teal, if it's a Sizzix machine, except for the old red one, then this is a YouTube for you to really learn more about the machine. It is a definite class. It is almost 2.5 hours long, but over 40,000 of you have already watched it. Woo! Okay, so these two winners posted a comment on that YouTube, and we have randomly selected their name with our software, and they're going to win a $25 SMS credit. Are you ready to see if it's you? All right, our first winner is Marcella Chavez. Hello, Marcella, is that you? Are you going, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. I did it. I finally won. Yes, you did. You won. And your friend, because we always pick two winners. So the second winner is Victoria. You know I'm struggling with your name, so you probably there's probably 5 of you out there whose name is Victoria, and you're like, oh yeah, it must be me because she can't pronounce it. If your name is Victoria Smith, it's not you. Or Victoria Brown, or Victoria Park, or okay. How about Schwintner? Schwintner. I'm going with Victoria Schwintner. Does that sound right, Victoria? Is that you? Even if it doesn't sound right, is it close enough? Did we spell it right? Because if that's you, you are also a Winter Chicken Dinner and will receive a $25 gift card. In fact, they're already in your accounts right now to go and spend them. You don't have to claim anything. You don't have to email us. We've put the money in there for you to go have a fine time with. But if you don't have an online account with us, you'll need to get one before I can put your money in. Okay, so go make an account with us, otherwise you can't spend it. All right, so now what do we have to do? Well, our winner chicken dinner dance, of course. Okay, are we ready? So for Victoria and Marcella, congratulations. You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo. For you. Congratulations, girls. Enjoy your winnings, and I hope that you find something that makes your heart happy. Maybe something that you've been wanting for a while and just couldn't justify it. Well, maybe with the extra $25 you have, now's the time. All right, so I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to bring over I think I'm going to start with the Simply Botanical. Simply Botanical is a collaboration between Scrapbooking Made Simple and Hero Arts. It is a joint effort, and our name is down there, and Simply Botanical is my brand, and Hero Arts, they're the manufacturers, and we do this once a month. It is just once a month. One stamp and die set, once a month, and they're value priced at I think $14.39 for both. And so they're limited. We only get so many, and typically when they're gone, they're gone. So we had a few come back as a return, so we were able to load some more into our system for some of the older ones, but typically when they're gone, they're gone. So I'm going to tilt on down. We're going to get started for today. I hope you have a great time. I hope you had a good time with the warehouse sale. I know it was a little different this year, not being able to come into the retail store and not being dressed up, and the decoration and the fanfare. But there's next year to look forward to, and that just means we have to do it bigger and better than ever before, right? Absolutely. Okay, you guys, it's me, Stacy. I'm going to tilt on down. We're going to get started for today. Down we go. And I'm going to zoom on in. Zoom, 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 zoom. And tilt on down. And I think we'll be okay. What do you think? You think we'll be okay? But just a hair bit more of a zoom. Maybe back just a little bit. Okay, I'm going with it. It is what it is. Okay, this is the Simply Botanical for July. I know it's not July anymore, but again, I didn't want to put it in the warehouse sale during the warehouse sale because that is a ships when it ships sale. And now that it's over with, we're back to normal shipping time frames, which of course are delayed because of COVID-19. We are still working with a very skeleton crew here. So, I mean, very skeleton crew. So, darling, right? You've got the holly leaves and the berries and the cute sentiments. $14.39. If you are a collector of Simply Botanical, here is the July release. Now let's look at some pretty cards, shall we? How beautiful is that? Right? Isn't that gorgeous? All done with Simply Botanical, including the sentiments. And then I have here, simple, easy. Yes, you'll have them in time to make Christmas cards without any doubt. That's why we're doing it now, early enough. That way, even with delayed shipping, you're going to get it in plenty of time. And here, the background was made with the holly stamp. So using the holly stamp and not using the die at all to make the background. Let me see if I can zoom on in so you can see it a little better. Cute, easy, simple. Stamp your backgrounds. Die cut out, stamp and die cut out your little sentiment. Put some glitter in the berries and you're good to go. Great, easy way to make a lot of Christmas cards super fast. And then we have here, which is just beautiful, right? Isn't that lovely? done in kind of wintry colors. Well, they definitely are wintry colors. Love them. See if I can bring it in a little tighter. My Zoom is me going back and forth. That's how technical we are here. I know, right? You're like, seriously? Uh-huh. Okay. And last but not least. So Simply Botanical for July. It's a little late, but with a reason. That way you will get it in time without any problem for Christmas. Didn't want it part of our warehouse sale. But this is a collaboration between Scrapbooking Made Simple and Hero Arts. I hope you like them. Now let's talk about what we've got for today. Are you ready? How cute is that? But wait, let's see. Bam! Okay. Wait, let me close it up. Okay, here it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bam! I know, right? This is easier than you think it would be. 1, 2, 3. Bam! Easier. Let me do the other one and show you the other. I posted this one on Facebook. Ready? First off, it's beautiful on the front. Love, love, love the butterfly. So pretty. So, so pretty. But then we go, bam! I know maybe it's not Easter time yet, but that's okay. Close it up, and when somebody opens it, hello. Talk about a fun interactive card that is not difficult to do. It really isn't. All right, so let's talk about how to do these cards. And let's talk about, oh, you know what? I think before we go there, because I'm going to be using a larger size card today, I'm going to talk a little bit about different card sizes, because I know several of you have had questions. So let me just look at my cards. And okay, so here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, we use 3 basic size cards. We use what is an A2 card. This is an A2 card. What is an A2 card? Well, it is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, cut in half, and then scored. So this is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So if I did there, you would see that would be a whole sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. And then it was cut in half and then scored to give you an A2 card. A2 cards are the most common size cards used in the United States. They are not used in Europe at all. They're viewed as too small. They think, yes, they like 5 by 7 and 6 by 6 and 8 by 10, and so you don't see A2 in Europe at all. When you say A2 in Europe, they think you're talking about this big sheet of paper. How did I know that? I asked for some samples in A2, and Remco, bless his pea picking heart from Find It Trading, sent me this big sheet of paper. I'm like, Remco, what am I supposed to do with it? He goes, well, it's an A2. I said, oh my gosh, no, USA2, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That means it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it is half of a sheet of an 8.5 by 11 scored and folded. And you can use it any way that makes your heart happy. Then we have an A6 card. Not quite as common in the US, far more common in the European countries. However, Ellis and Sizzix makes a lot of their embossing folders in A6, and I have a feeling the reason they do that is because Ellison sells globally, and A6 is kind of a compromise between a 5 by 7 and an A2. It's a little bit different in size. It is 4.14 inches by 5.85 inches approximately. So it is definitely different than an A2. Can you see that an A6 card is a little bit taller? It's not 5.5, it's 5.85, so it's a little bit longer, but it's also a little bit shorter than an A2 card. So an A6 is a little bit shorter. If I was doing a fold, you'd see that that A2 card is just a hair bit longer than an A6, but an A6 has more this way. So if you were doing a card like this, your A6 card is going to be a little bit longer in your length and a little bit shorter here. So A6, they're very close in size, but they're just a hair bit off here and there. And we do sell A6 because Ellison makes, several manufacturers who sell globally make embossing folders in an A6 size. Can you swap between the two of them? Yes, absolutely you can. So remember, A2 is 4.25 by 5.5, and an A6 is 4.14, 4.15 times by 5.85. So a little bit smaller than 4.25, but a little bit longer than 5.5. And then you get into the big card, which is just a 5 by 7. And of course, there's a big difference between an A2, an A6, and a 5 by 7. I mean, you've got a world of difference. And a 5 by 7 is still able to be sent in the mail for no additional postage. All three of these cards can be sent in the mail for no additional postage. It just depends upon what it is you want to do. And if you need something that's got a little extra length, well, then you're going to go with an A6. If you don't, you might want to just stick with your A2. And if you're looking to make a larger card, you're going to play with a 5 by 7. For today, we're going to play with a 5 by 7 card, but I'm going to show you how to trim this card down to do exactly what we're doing, only in a smaller size. The nice thing about having a bigger card is that you can always trim it. You can always trim it down. It's a little more difficult to take a smaller card base and make it bigger versus taking a bigger card base and making it smaller. Because if I really wanted to make a 5 by 7 in A2, let's say I just needed to, I had to, and I didn't have any A2s, I could absolutely trim this down and take my 5 by 7 and make it an A2 card. Or I could take it and trim it down, and even though it's a little bit longer an A6 card, I could also make it an A6 card. So having something a little bit bigger sometimes comes in handy, and for today, that is what we're going to be playing with. So I'm going to put these off to the side, and I think I'm going to talk about the die that we've got that we're going to start with. All right. So this is the die we're working with today. And again, if you saw this in your local crafting store, your local scrapbooking store, your local paper craft store, if you're lucky enough to still have one, you would probably walk on by and say, I don't know what that is, I don't know what that does, and I don't know why I need that. But you need it. It really is a wonderful die. In its simplicity, it is easy to use, and the effect that you get, the bang for your buck, the wow factor for making one die cut and a few pieces of tape is wow. It is holy smokes artichokes. So again, this is not the only die out there like that. I want to make sure you know that. But Arc on Wild, I believe, was one of the first, if not the first, to get this die out to market years and years ago. It does come with some instructions, but I'll tell you, the instructions that it comes with is not what I'm going to be doing with it today. We're going to expand on what this die can do, and I think that's where I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm going to put that over there. All right, so this is a wafer die. super thin. Do you have a Cuttlebug machine? Do you have a Grand Caliber machine? Do you have a Sizzix Fabi machine, or a Vintage machine, or a Tim Holtz machine, or a Plus machine, or a standard Big Shot machine, or a Big Kick machine? Whose machine do you have? If you can do wafer dies, and this is not a wide die, so Cuttlebug users, you are A-okay. Do you have a Gemini machine? You have a Platinum machine? You got a Go Press and foil. Well, it's not a foil, a Go Press machine. Whose machine do you have? Because you're going to be able to cut this in any machine, with the exception of perhaps a Sizzix Sidekick and the old red machine. Other than that, the world is your oyster. It is wafer thin, and that means that it's meant to cut just through a few sheets of paper, not through heavy material or fabric, heavy fabric or leather or tin. It's meant to cut basic cardstock. And can you see these lines in here? These lines, they're not going to cut anything. Those are score lines. The heavier lines around the outside, those deeper ridges, this is going to cut. So the whole piece is going to come out. But the lines in the middle, well, they're just going to score, and we're going to need those score lines to make this die work. I also want you to notice that the two tabs are off center. That's important to know because you intuitively are going to want to center these into the middle of your card, but you can't. They're off center. So if you try to center this one's going to be completely out of the card. So just know the tabs, they're off center for a reason. And you're not going to want to try and center them in your card. You are going to want to try and center the actual cut. So let's start with, let's just cut a piece. Let's just cut one. And I think I will use some of my paper. I've got some of my dotty paper. I don't know if you can see the little dots on it. I've got some of my shimmer paper. Please know we are selling out of this paper and not bringing it back in. So when it is gone, it is gone. Okay, well, let's just play with the blue for right now. All right, I'm gonna bring my Sizzix Big Shot machine over, which if you watched last week, the do's and don'ts of the Big Shot machine, you know that this is the basic machine and it is a workhorse machine. There's no question about it. It goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. It is a manual machine, and now it comes with a standard platform and a standard shim for wafer dies. And it will show you on the shim that it's meant for wafer dies, thinlits, wafer dies, things that are super thin like this. If I were to put my die on my platform with my paper and my cut plate, and I was to send it on through, it's too thin. Too thin, it won't work. I need the extra shim that they give me to put enough height on my platform so that the die hits the roller that is found right here. There's a roller, a steel roller. Boy, that was hard for me to get out. Okay, so I've got my platform, my base platform down. I now put my adapter, my shim, right on top of it. I put my do not cut plate down, and they don't sell these. I mean, it's just a regular cutting pad, but I call it a do not cut plate because I try not to cut into it if at all possible, and it keeps one plate constantly being flat and level and allows you to go through your Big Shot machine or whatever machine you're using much easier. Always try to have a do not cut plate just so that you've got a nice flat surface to go through. As you're cutting into a plate, it's going to start to warp. So if you have one that has no warpage at all, it's just really nice. Now, I've put my die with those ridges face up, and I've put my paper. Did I not cut a piece? I bet I didn't cut a piece. Oh, I did. Oh, by the hair of a chinny chin chin. Put my paper right over it, and now my cut plate. This plate is going to get cut into, and it's meant to get cut into, and it's okay if it gets cut into. That's what it's supposed to do. And I'm gonna roll, roll, roll. Little creaks and cracks are not a problem. Oh, I know it sounds horrible, but that just means it's cutting. As long as I'm able to roll through, that's the important thing to me. Now, if I rolled through and it didn't do anything, obviously I forgot something, whether it be a shim or a plate. And there we go. One roll, easy peasy. I'm not sure if you can see those score lines, but those score lines are super important. Let me get this off and let me put my die right on my gotcha. And I'm gonna slide this on over. All right, so I've got a piece right here and it's got all these little score lines on them, which then I'm going to score. And I'm gonna go backwards and forwards to make sure that I've got a really good line. You can absolutely take a pair of scissors or a boning folder to get your score better. And then I've got this one here. And I just wanna make sure that I've got a really nice line. And then I'm gonna flip it around and do it both ways, so that I get a really good score. And then last, I've got this line right here. And flip it over. Okay. Oh, now you can really see the score lines better, can't you? This is what I'm going to start to make my interactive piece of my card. So cute. This is what's going to become, I know, from, you're looking at it going, say what? From this is what I need. I need this arrow. This arrow is like, yes, you need the arrow. And it doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you get your arrow folded, you're good to go. I need your arrow. So now I have it with the dotties on the outside. I need that lovely little arrow. Now those score lines are super important. Let me take another piece of paper and bring my machine back in. Let's say your machine is a little older. This one's brand spanking new. Thank you, Mr. Big Shot. David and Sizzix Sarah sent me a brand new baby. Whoo! I'm a lucky girl sometimes. So it's not often I get free goodies. This one, I haven't had a new Big Shot machine in, I don't know, 3 years or something like that. So this one's like a wahoo kachoo. I don't have to tighten everything every time I use it. It's just beautiful. It's just lovely. For as much as I use it, it's a pretty good workhorse. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put my paper down. I'm gonna bring my die back over. Oh, look, I can just put it on the diagonal. Okay. Hold on just a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna put my my cut plate on. Oh no, I don't want to do it that way. That's backwards. I'm gonna cut into my do not cut plate. Oh no. So I'm gonna put my die down first, face up, then my paper, then my cut plate. I don't want to cut into that do not cut plate. Now let's say your machine is a little older and it means it's loose. Yes, you might have a loose machine. That just means that you've been using it for quite a while and it's not as tight as it used to be. When you roll it through, maybe you have to use your precision base plate more often. Maybe you have to shim. When you're using with the score lines, you really want to make sure that those score lines come out good. So one way to make sure of that is to just do a quick little shim. So I've just grabbed an envelope. Nothing important, just a quick little shim, and I am going to go ahead and put that just right on top of my cut plate. I'm just going to put it right on top of my cut plate. And that's going to add just a little bit of thickness. I mean, the tiniest little bit of thickness to my platform, allowing me to send it on through. And that's going to make it a little tighter so it hits that roller, and it's going to make sure that I go ahead and I get those crease lines in there really good. Now you may not need that. You may not need a shim at all. But if you do, I don't want you to think it has to be anything too thick. I just grabbed an envelope. You want to start thinner with a shim than too heavy. Oh yeah, see now you can, wow, you can really, can you see those even better? They're really deep in there. And that's because I just added that little extra shim. All right, so now I'm going to score this and fold it. Oh gosh, you can hear it go. That was pretty awesome. I don't know if I got that on camera. Hold on, shush. Did you hear that? That's how good the score is. So I'm going to go backwards and forwards. And let me get this last one. And put this away. And move this over there. All right. So I am scoring what will be my little arrow. Oh. There we go. My little arrow. So you can see the arrow going up and the arrow going up. That's what I need. I need my arrows going up. So if I wanted this side to be, doesn't matter which side of the paper. Now I've done it on both sides, but I need that arrow going up, because what's that going to do? That's going to allow us to put it into a card base. That's going to give us the opportunity to make that fold, make that explosion pop out. So this is a 5x7 card base. And honestly, originally, this die I think was more intended to go with a smaller card base. Tent card actually, that is more of an A2 size tent card, because this does have to kind of go this way. A lot of times we open our card horizontally. I'm going to need you to have a tent card to open it vertically, because that's what's going to allow this die to pop out and explode. So let me make my little tent again. There we go. Got my little arrow pointing up. And this is what's going to allow my card to open. I know you're like, are you kidding me, Stacy? Are you serious? I am serious. So your arrow always needs to point to your score line. Always. Now you can put it together this way, absolutely, but it still needs to point to your score line. Your arrow needs to point to your score line. Does it need to be sitting on top of your score line? No, you just want your arrow just a little bit down, just a little bit down. And I'm gonna tape it down. Now, our sticky dot's gonna work with this. No, you need good adhesive tape. You need strong adhesive tape. Is wet glue great for this? No, not really. It's a really messy, even with quick dry wet glue. I have put a piece of Stacy tape right on it. You can see that my Stacy tape is a little bit too long. That's okay, I'm gonna pull it up. And I'm going to fold it back onto itself, because it's double stick tape and you can do that. I'm gonna take my arrow and I'm gonna point it right up to my score line, and I'm gonna put it down. And hopefully I'm close to being centered. Okay. My arrow is pointing to my score line. That's all you have to remember, is that your arrow's got to point to your score line. Now I'll take another piece of Stacey tape and put it down, peel it off, and do the same thing. Where my Stacey tape is too long, where I've got it sticking out the side, I'm just gonna fold it right back onto itself. It doesn't matter if it's too long. It doesn't matter if your lines are not straight. Do you have to cut it? No, you saw me. This is a double stick adhesive. It's super strong. And you just tear it to the size you need. Is it the only double-sided adhesive out there? Oh, heavens no. But please remember that not all double stick tape is the same. It isn't. I can tell you that mine's a little bit stronger, a little bit longer, and is a little bit less money than several out there. But if you've got Sukwang tape, which is Score Pal, or if you've got Elizabeth Crafts tape, this is fine. You're going to be fine with what you have. You don't have to have mine. It's not necessary. But you don't want to necessarily use the one from the dollar store. It's just not strong enough to get you through. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and now I'm gonna fold my card right down on top and close her on up. And now I'm ready to open. You're like, but that doesn't look like anything, Stacey. Where's the excitement? Okay, I'm getting there, I'm getting there. I'm gonna put this over to the side for just a minute. Well, you know what? I think I will do this one more time just to show you. So let's grab another A2 card just so you can see it. Fold my A2 card down. I've got my little arrow. I put some Stacey tape on one side of my arrow, pull it back, have my arrow facing my score line. Even if I'm doing it this way, your arrow has to be facing your score line, but not right on top of it, just a little bit down. And down. Now take my Stacey tape again, put it right over the top of this one. Remember that sticky dots are not going to work. Super strong glue dots would probably work, but they'd need to be really strong. I'm pretty sure my glue dots would hold it, my red ones. And close her on up. And bam. Same thing. All right, so I'm going to set this one aside. And now we're going to get into what makes it go woo. All right, so the next thing I want to tell you about is this piece right here. This is a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper where we just took a hunk here's a sheet of 8.5 by 11 and we just cut, gosh, a little bit more than, I want to say maybe it's 2, let me get it really quickly. So let's see, am I gonna get it in there? Well, let's start at 4. It's about 2 3/4 width. And we just took it right off of a sheet of 8.5 by 11, and we cut the whole sheet. This can vary in the size. It doesn't have to be as thick as we have it, but because I'm using such a big card to do this with, I wanted it to take up more room. So we've made it a piece of an 8.5 by 11, the whole length by about 2 3/4. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to score this. I'm going to score this, and I'm going to put 3 score lines in there, and it's super easy peasy. Your score lines are going to be, now write this down, your score lines are going to be at 2 3/4 inches, at 5 1/2 inches, and at 8 1/4 inches. So when I put this in, this is my trimmer. I don't use it very often. You all know that. What I do use is the scoring blade on it. So the dark pink is a scoring blade. And I have gone ahead and at the lengths that I need, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4, I've drawn a little line. Now you may be saying, oh, I don't want a line on mine. Okay, you can, let me see, you can get rid of your little line. Maybe you just want your line for when you're doing these cards. You just want to add it for the time that you're doing just this type of a card. Okay, then just take a little bit of alcohol and take your line right off. I used a Sharpie marker to put it on, and when you're all done, if you want it to be all nice and clean again, just take a little bit of alcohol and rub it right off. And now you can mark it up for the next thing you need to score. I, however, am going to put that score line back in at 8 1/4. All right, so if you've purchased one of these from us, we had it on a bundle sale, and I have a few more left, and I've put them back online for this YouTube. The dark pink is for the scoring. The light pink is your cutter. This is only 9 inches. It's not a 12-inch, so you're not going to be able to do a big sheet of paper. But for scoring, it's for small cutting, like crafting, like card making, it's a great little trimmer, and then the scoring tool is awesome. So I'm going to take my paper, and I'm going to line it right up at that 8 1/4. And I'm going to score. Then I'm going to slide it on down, and I don't even have to think. I just have to go right to my red line, and I'm going to score. And again, I don't have to think about anything. I'm going to go right to my last line, and I'm going to score. And just like that, I've scored all 4. Bam, easy peasy. You've got extra paper. I know you've got strips of stuff. What a great way to use them, right? So I took my paper, 8.5 by 11 by about 2 3/4, put it in my trimmer, went to my pre-designated score little marks on my trimmer, and scored away. Now, if you do end up getting this trimmer, we also included another set of cutting blades. You should never have to replace your scorer. The scorer never goes dull. The cutting blades, though, do. So it's on I think it's a $29.99 value for like $12.99 is what it is. Okay, so I've scored all 4 little and I've just made a little accordion. This is not difficult. You can do this. Okay, this is an important note. You have a couple, when you've got an accordion, your accordion can either be your mountain facing up, you've got a mountain in the middle, or you can have a crevice in the middle. Can you see I've got a crevice now? And here I've got a mountain. When you are making these cards, you want a mountain in the middle. See how I've got a mountain? I don't want a crevice. I don't want to fall into that big old gully. Heavens no. I want to finish my card. I want to climb the mountain and finish my card. I want to get to the top. Mountain in the middle. Because when you bring this over, your mountain needs to be in the middle. Now to adhere this down, super easy. Mountain in the middle. Now, for me, I originally thought, okay, I need to take these little flappy things right here, and I need to tape them to the ends here, and I need to take this other flappy one. But then what happens? Nothing moves. I don't know why I thought I was gonna line these up and tape these down. Have no idea what I was thinking, but it was wrong. With that mountain in the middle, it's the base of that mountain that actually gets taped. On the inside, like that. So here's my mountain. Here's the base of my mountain. I'm walking up, I get to the base of my mountain. That is what gets taped to your little tabby, right on the inside. Right on the inside. So let's tape my little mountain on the inside. So a piece of tape. And let's pull it off. And let's get my mountain. And I'm going to walk up to my mountain. I'm going to take my base, and my base is what's going to get attached. And I'm going to center it the best that I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, I've got my other half. I've got my base. Here's my mountain base. And I need to put that on. And taper down. Because what's going to happen is when I close it then, everything's going to fold up onto itself. So, put on my tape. Tape off. Fold it back. Mountain in the middle. Okay. Now, what do you see that's not right? Do you see how I've got my mountain here in the middle, and then I've got my wing pointing up? Can you see that? But do you see how I've got my mountain here, and I've got my little pathway here, and he's not folded up? That's because I've taped my little tabby, oops, to the inside and not to the outside. I need to tape it out here. See how it's both taped out here as opposed to taping it underneath. I think it's our natural desire to hide the little tabbies. I do. I think it's our natural desire to hide the little tabbies. But that's going to allow my wings to stay up. put my tape back on. And pull it off. Hide it back. And now bring my wing and kind of line it up. And there I close. Oh, I tell I'm not centered. I'm totally not centered, but that's okay. So I know that our thought is to hide our little tabbies, but you can't hide these little tabbies. They kind of have to show. So if you use the same paper here to make your little mechanism as you use to make your fold, you will not see your tabbies, which is why I did the blue one. So here's my blue one. Now if I took a piece of my blue paper, the exact same blue paper, and I brought over my scorer, and I pulled its little arm out and I went zoop, zoop, zoop and got mine all done. So there's my 1/8 of a quarter score. There's my 5 1/2 score. There's my 2 3/4 score. Let's make my mountain. So fold, 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 make your accordion, fold it back just so you've got really great score lines. I've got my mountain folded up. I come over and I need my mountain facing up. And I attach my wings to the outside. You're not going to see them as much as if you use a piece of colored paper that is different. So let's attach, attach, attach. So I want you to see just how fast this is. It does not take long to do, and once you've made probably 2 or 3 of them, it truly is like clockwork. You just do it. It's just easy peasy. The first 1 or 2 may be a little more difficult, but remember, it's only paper. So grab some paper that is not your favorite and give it a whirl. So all I'm trying to do is fit it in there. And then I'm going to take my other wing and I'm going to take my tape off. Fold it up. Bring my little wing on over. And again, just kind of remember your wings are slightly off center, so you're not trying to center that wing, the little tabby. Remember, the little tabby is a little off center, so you're not trying to put that in the middle of this. It's never gonna work. It's always gonna be, one's gonna be a little to the left, and one's gonna, well, yes, this one's to my left, yes. They're always gonna be slightly off center because it needs to twist. So let's just bring that on over and see, am I kind of close? I think that looks good. And yay! And fold it on up. I know that looked, wait a minute, I'm gonna tilt on up. I know that looked tricky. I know you're saying, I am new, I cannot do this. You can. I used 4 pieces of tape and 2 pieces of paper. That's all I used. 4 pieces of tape and 2 pieces of paper. So if you have to, take 4 pieces of tape. If you have to get the confidence to do this, take the 4 pieces of tape and put 1. Now do it on a craft mat that's non-stick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, that's all you got. 4 pieces of tape and 2 pieces of paper. One of them is going to be, this one's, I'm gonna put that one away. I'm not even gonna try and fix that one. Let's do the brown. Do I have a piece of brown over here? A big one? No. Okay, how about we do a gray? Bring over my machine. Put my platforms together, put my do not cut plate, put my die face up, put my paper however I want it so it cuts out, put my cut plate on, send it through, 1 cut. Push this back over, pull out my die, score lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there, and make my arrow. Make my arrow. Then take my paper, score it, one, 2, 3, fold it, make my accordion, have my mountain in the middle, bring over a card base, point my arrow to the fold line. I feel like I'm on fast forward, but I'm not. Arrow down, pointing to the fold line, second piece of tape, close my card up. So I still have 2 pieces of tape left. That's all I've got. I've got my mountain in the middle with my wings on the side. Take my piece of tape. Oh, I didn't need such big pieces of tape. Put it on my wing. So I've got my tape on my little tabby. Bring my wing over. Oh, too far down. Well, we'll see. I think I might be too far down, but that's okay. And my last piece of tape that I left on my mat. Okay, we'll go with it. Put it on my wing, my little tabby right here. And kind of center it. So when I say center, I'm not trying to center this, I'm trying to center that. Bam. Done. 2 pieces of paper, 4 pieces of tape. You've got this. You really do. But now, how do you decorate it? Okay, that's the easy peasy part. That's the wahoo kachoo part. Okay. Ta-da! Right? Okay, so now let's decorate it. And I've got these 2 that I can play with. Oh, where to put them? How about right there? Now, we have got little mats of white paper. These are cut at a 2.5 by 2.5, which is going to give me a lovely little mat right inside. See? Easy peasy. 2.5 by 2.5. You've got lots of paper. I know you do. And, oh, do I not have a gush mat? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me, Stacy Lynn? Really? How can I not have a gush pad? Where are my gush pads? Okay. I don't even see one over there. Holy smokes, artichokes. Well, I'm gonna stamp. Can I do that? Oh, can you feel my hands are getting sweaty, worried about where my gush pad is? I just cannot bring myself to do that. Oh, there's got to be one. Hold on, don't go anywhere. There's got to be one over here. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Did everybody take my gush pads? Miscellaneous tools? No. Blocks? No. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're gonna fly by the seat of our pants. Boy, don't do that well. Okay, we're just gonna go for it. What can I stack up that will make my heart happy? Do I have a squishy and a knock-knock somewhere on here? I don't think I do. What's over here? Do I have a squishy and a knock-knock over here? Oh, I've got a squishy, but it's not squishy enough. Oh my gosh. No, well, I'm gonna go for it. Sorry, folks, but I don't know where my gush pad is. I don't see any of them anywhere. Is that wild? I know, I need to stop focusing on that, but my brain says, what the heck? What the what? All right, what's a gush pad? Well, it's what I normally stamp on because I do not like stamping on a hard surface. If you have trouble stamping and you're stamping on a hard surface, you're not giving the stamp anything to sink into. But you know what? I'll just work it backwards and make it work. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna play with these. What are these? These are the Tim Holtz, gosh, what did he call them? I don't know, they've got, I don't even know what he called these things. Well, this is the travel set, but they have kind of this interesting little effect to them. They've got kind of dimensions on them. And I thought that they were super cool, and they fit right on my little 2.5 by 2.5 piece. So let's take the first one. Cute, right? Put it right on. I'm going to take my India ink. I am using Hero Arts India ink. They're black India ink. You can use Memento. I'm going to be using gamsol and colored pencils to color these in super fast. That's why I'm using an India ink, or you can use a Memento Tuxedo Black. They don't move. It's not as if you get them wet and all of a sudden they blur on out. Not every ink is like that. So you want to use an ink, if you're going to apply any kind of wetness to them, you want to use an ink that doesn't move unless you're looking for a watercolor look. Okay, ready? Just go for it, Stacy. 1, 2, 3, ABC. I'm going to give an extra press. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Okay, that's all right. Okay, good. One down. Wahoo. Let's do the next one. Grab another piece of paper. Ink up. Now these are red rubber stamps, which are beautiful. They're, the brand is Stampers Anonymous, and these are Tim Holtz. It's just my brain. I want to say alterations, but they're not alterations. That's his dies. I just can't remember what he named these. They're made by Archon Wild and Friends. So you get a beautiful image every time. There's number 2, looks good. And I'm going to take the globe as my third one. Well, you know what? Maybe I will do all 4. One, 2, 3, ABC. I can feel a little gush. And I guess I will do the last one. Okay. So I've stamped all 4 of them, and I've used a clear block and I've used a cling stamp. These are going to cling on and off and on and off. Stamps are a tool. They're meant to be used again and again and again. Then I can put them right back on the liner that is over here and keep it all together so that I know what I have. But what if I want to do a sentiment on here? Well, that's where the verses come in. I had 2 sets done exclusively for us from Verses with slightly bigger words that fit on the 2.5 by 2.5 or smaller without any problem. So I wanted them to go with the sets that we have because I picked 10 different sets from Tim's line to do these with, but they didn't have any sentiments, and this is travel. So how about Happy Travels? So let's put my happy, and let's put my travels. So, in fact, I think I'm going to put my paper down and pick them right up off my paper. So happy and travels. Now these are clear stamps. You can see them. You can see through them, actually. They're clear stamps, which are different than a red rubber cling stamp. They both still work on your block. They both still work on a clear acrylic block. And if you don't have a block and you have a die cutting machine, grab a platform. They'll cling. Anything that's plastic, acrylic, they will cling to. So if you're saying, oh, I can't stamp, I don't have one of those little blocks yet, but you do die cut, well, now you can. You just use your cutting mat until you decide if you love stamping, and then buy your set of blocks. We've got some Do Crafts blocks on sale that are at an amazing price. So now I've laid out my Happy Travels. And I'm just going to bring over my block, and I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to pick it up. There, now it's in place. Now all I have to do is ink it up. And stamp. Wait, I have 2U. Okay, let's do this one. Happy travels. 1, 2, 3, ABC. Okay, so maybe you just want a happy travels, but I happen to have happy travels to you. The 2U comes with the set. So let's lay them down again. Happy travels to you. And we'll pick them up and we'll ink them up and we'll stamp them up. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Good press since I don't have a gush pad. Now I can do happy travels or happy travels to you. Let's move this out of my way and move that out of my way. And now I have everything I need to decorate my card. I'm going to do these really quick with some gamsol and a paper stub and colored pencils. These are not watercolor pencils. They are colored pencils, and that makes a big difference. I'm not going to use them with water at all. I'm going to, in fact, let's just do the globe. I'm going to put some colored pencil on here and kind of color it in. So I've put some colored pencil there, not watercolor pencil. If this was watercolor pencil, then I take a paintbrush and I paint it out. I'm going to use my gamsol, which is also known as mineral spirits, and it's got a little, this is from Inky Antics, Art Gone Wild and Friends, and I'm going to put a little bit of gamsol right on the top of my stubby, which is compressed paper. You don't want to stick your stubby into your gamsol because it is very porous and it will just suck it all up. You only want to use as much gamsol as you need. And then I'm going to take, and that gamsol is going to turn this wax pencil almost into a paint, and it's going to let me move it and blend it out. So I can make my water. I know some of you are going, oh, I hate that noise. I know, I hear you, but it's okay. That's what earphones are for, right? I want to make my water a little darker on the side. I just come in there and add a little more blue and blend it on out. Gamsol is one of the easiest ways, colored pencils and gamsol, one of the easiest ways to color. I could go in with my, do I want to do gray? Maybe gray. And I can add some dark gray onto my camera. And some gamsol, which is also known as mineral spirits, right on my stubby. And then I can blend it on out. just giving my camera a little definition. Doesn't need much, it's a camera. But I just wanted to give it a little definition on the sides and down at the bottom. Color in just a little bit and then stubby it on out. Just to add a little color to it. If I want more black on the sides, if I want to be that darker black, I take a black pencil and I come in and I just draw a line of black. Do you see how I just drew a line of black? And then I'm just gently, very gently, going to soften that line up. Just very gently. Not too much blending. Now I've got more definition. These are easy to do. This is an easy way to color, and they don't take much. If I wanted to add a little bit of green into that water, could I do that? Sure. I could come over here and put maybe a little green on this side. See how I just drew a line of green? You don't want to color the whole thing. You don't want to color the whole thing because then you've got nowhere for that pencil to move to. But I need to sharpen my stubby because I've got two colors going on. Well, the blue wouldn't be so bad because it would blend in. But if I wanted to get rid of that black, this is just paper. You're just going to sand it. There is a kit that we sell that comes with the stubbies, the sandpaper, the gamsol. I think most of you already own this in your crafting stash, in your arsenal. Take off the black and start again. And now grab that green. It's just paper. You can do this. You can. A little more gamsol, go in there, move it around. And because you're working with that India ink, you don't have to worry about it smearing. You don't. I can go back in, add more color if I want, but now I've got green on here. Add more color down there. I'll just use the blue. If it throws a little blue on there, I'm not going to be upset. You're just trying to add a little color because then we can take these and we can mount them right inside. So if I take my double stick tape, you would do a much nicer job than me, no doubt. Put one in. And then let's put the compass in. And what if we threw a little bit of brown around the compass maybe? What if we did just a hair bit of brown around the compass? And my gamsol, and I got a little blue in there, but that's okay. I'm going to be okay with that. A little bit of brown, just to add some color. And a little bit of brown. I know that there's people on the live chat with me right now who have turned their sound down. Okay, a little bit of brown around my compass, and then just because we can, maybe just a little bit of blue. It's all about leaving negative space, and negative space is all that white space that I didn't color in. That's super important because if you don't have white space left, you've got no place for your color to actually move to. Bam, done. Let's go ahead and tape it on down. And then we've got the camera, and we'll tape the camera onto our third panel. And I'm just matting it right on in there. And now your option. I could put the little postage stamp with the plane. I could put that here. I could put my happy travels to you here. I could put my happy travels to you there and my airplane here. I could put my airplane there and decorate the front and put my happy travels to you somewhere on the front. The idea is that these little stamps from Tim Holtz that have been around forever are like the perfect thing for the inside of these. And then when you add the sentiments that are meant to go perfectly, to fit perfectly, you've got your card is done. Happy travels to you. And before you know it, bam, you did this. And it doesn't take you that long. And the impact that it makes when somebody gets a card and they open it up and it pops out at them, it's like when you were a kid and you got a pop-out book and you opened it up and the castle came up or the dragon came up. It was that moment that you just, and you were so excited and it became your favorite book. Well, adults are no different. They love they love them, they do. And when you're using things that are already coordinated for you, like Tim's stamps, they're already coordinated for you. Each stamp set gives you the 4 different panels to use. They do. And then if you throw in the verses, or if you have sentiments already, if you're good to go. I love, love, love the fall. Can you imagine beautiful cards done with the little fall foliage? And then, gosh, we have 2 sets. So we've got Happy Autumn, Autumn Hugs, Autumn Greetings. This is the holiday sentiments where you've got Happy Valentine's, Happy 4th, Happy Spring, Happy Autumn, Happy Easter, Happy Fall. Hello fall, hello autumn, hello spring. Merry Christmas, Christmas greetings, seasons greetings, winter greetings, winter hugs, autumn hugs. I mean, everything that you could ever want is on there, as the same with the everyday. So we tried to give you everything you might need. Birthday wishes, good luck, happy birthday. Hello birthday, hello friend, hello to you. Hello, congrats, many thanks to you. Warm hugs. Now we have, I think we have smiles on both of them. Or do we have hugs on both of them? I know we have, maybe we do have smiles on both. No, we have hugs on both of them in 2 different fonts. Happy travels to you. Wishing you happy travel. I mean, there's just tons on each one so that you can make your own sentiment, so that when they open it, it's like being a kid again. And kids love these too, obviously. But 2 pieces of paper. 2 pieces of paper. Two pieces of paper and 4 pieces of tape are going to make this happen for you. And you saw how easy it is. Mountain has to be up, wings go out. You just tape the wings on, take the tabs right to the wings. And the card does the rest for you. Card does the rest for you. Now, is it possible to make it smaller? Yes. Let's pull this bad boy out. Let's say you didn't want a 5x7 card, but that's all you had was a 5x7 card. What if you cut it down? I could take my trimmer. What if I wanted to make it 5.5 this way? Or 4.5, 4 1/4 this way? What if I wanted an A2 size card? Let's go. 4 1/4. I've now made a smaller card. Will it still work? Boy, oh boy, did I make my hat, my little arrow, my tape. My tape wants to hold it. Okay, go down. Okay. It's sticking all to me. Make my little arrow. Stick my arrow right back down. Close it up. And now you've done it for a smaller card. I just took a big card and made it smaller. You can do this. You can do this. Take my mountain, hold my mountain, line my mountain back up. Don't know if my tape's gonna stick, but that's okay. We're gonna go for it. Line my mountain back up. And now you've got a smaller version. All I did was trim my card down. So do you like the smaller version? Or do you like the bigger version? You have options. If you have larger card bases, you absolutely have options. All right. Holy smokes. Well, from not having a gush pad, which I don't know what happened to them, to talking about different card sizes, to stamping and gamsoling and remembering. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's what you need to do, so that you don't get overwhelmed by putting this together, if that's what you need to do, 4 pieces of tape and 2 pieces of paper. And then you decorate. Then that's what you do. Lay out 4 pieces of tape, get your 2 pieces of paper, and start working. And after you make 2 or 3 of these, you're never gonna need to put 4 pieces of tape out again. You are gonna be good to go. All right, so we talked about an A2 card size, an A6 card size, a 5x7 card size. We talked about the Art Gone Wild, where the die is not overly woo-hoo-choo. If you saw this on a hook somewhere, I think you would go, I don't understand it at all. I don't. But then the minute you do that, you're like, oh, right? Probably, you know, a little, but that's okay. We talked about the gamsol kits, and it comes with the gamsol and the stubbies and the eraser, the sanding paper, and instructions on how to use it, but super, super easy. The Versus sets that are exclusive to us, that are just made for every day. So we have from Versus and we have from Stampendous. The Stampendous sayings are a little bit smaller. The words are, and the font is a little bit smaller. And then we have we have 2 different bundles. So I put together, these are the individual Tim Holtz sets that we did. So we've got Christmas, and we've got 4th of July, and we've got Valentine's or wedding, and we've got fall, and we've got kind of a spring Easter. So these are all sold open stock along with the sentiments that go with it, or we did a bundle that has all of them including the sentiments. It does not have the die. The die is sold separately, but this has all 5 of the Tim Holtz. It's going to come to me afterwards, and then it's going to be too late. But all of his stamps. Blueprints! That's it! Blueprints! It's blueprint. How can I not remember that? My husband has blueprints in the house. Oh, well, he had them until they burned down. But blueprints! Tim, I'm sorry. It finally came to me. I am old. In my age, it finally came to me. Blueprints. These are the Tim Holtz blueprint sets. That makes up for not having my gush pad. Okay, so then I bundled all of these together in an I Want It All. I did not include the die. Buy the die separately, because then we have the I feel so happy. We have the everyday set, which has travel. It has the coffee. It has by the seashore. It has for kids and fun and adventure and birthday. And then it has the everyday sentiments. And you can buy these all open stock, just the ones you like, or you can get the I Want It All of this too. So the reason I didn't put the die in is because if you wanted both of these, you'd end up getting 2 dies. And really, 1 die is good. You're okay with that. 1 die will work. Okay, let's get to samples. Blueprints. I am so happy right now. Oh my gosh, it just made up for absolutely everything. You're like, she is a little crazy. Yeah, well, sometimes, but I'm happy in my head. Okay, samples. So I already showed you this one. You ready? Zoop. Pretty cool, right? 4 pieces of tape, 2 pieces of paper, 4 pieces of tape to do that. And then how you decorate is how you decorate. This is the smaller version. So it's up to you. Which way do you like better? Ah! Go in. There we go. Which way do you like better? Do you like the small one? Or do you like the bigger? Well, if you have 5x7 cards, you can do whatever you want. You make your heart whatever you have. And then, of course, this is part of the sentiments. Happy travels. Happy travels. Ta-da! And we didn't even decorate the inside. We just let the pop do itself. happy travels. And then happy birthday. Ta-da! So cute. So here we used all 4 of the Tim Holtz blueprints, stamp sets, and then the outside with our Versus stamp, and then we did one more just on the outside just to decorate. And then USA, USA. So again, these are the Tim Holtz blueprint stamps. This one too, cut out. And ready? Shoot. There you go. So up. And then down. I want that wing to stay open. And then down. And then happy travels. Ready? Just darling, right? And then down. And then down. And then we have birthday wishes. What's that? You didn't show that. No, this is the directions you get inside the package. It tells you how to do the circle. So if you like it with just one, you can do it with the circle. And those instructions do come with it. But the instructions to do this do not. So I wanted to focus on what you weren't gonna get. So back to happy birthday, birthday wishes, done with the Tim Holtz blueprints, and the background was stamped with the Tim Holtz blueprints, and then you open it up. How cute is this? And then hello friend with the coffee. So these instructions to do this are not shown, are not given with you when you buy the die. Whoop. And open. See, I love the autumn. It's my favorite time of the season. Twist down, please. There we go. Open. Twist down. Thank you. And we embossed and colored. And then we have this one I showed earlier. So cute. And here, done with the coffee blueprints, stamped, the background is stamped out of the Tim Holtz coffee blueprint set. The hello to you is from Versus, and then open it up. And twist down. And then happy travels, same thing, stamped with the stamps to make your own background. And then up. They really are fun and unique and clever, and people just love them. And down we go for Valentine's. And happy birthday. Cute, huh? Again, the circle is shown. You get instructions on how to do that with the die. So I spent my time showing you what you weren't going to get instructions on. But it's the same concept, only 2 pieces of paper and 3 pieces of tape. The autumn greetings. So I'm holding it almost flat. That's why they're not closing, but that's okay. That way you see them. And then love, again, the background was made with the stamps. Right? How cute is that? Oh, maybe if I had done them down here to begin with, that would have been easier. Christmas. Well, yeah. It's a little late now. And then super cute happy birthday. Oh, sure. Now that I put my hand down and sure. Happy birthday. And then happy 4th. Again, the backgrounds were made with the stamps. And then 2 little samples that don't have pop-outs at all, just using the blueprint stamps from Tim and the verses, just to make cute little cards. This was actually made with leftovers. So the part that I cut off from the card, remember when I made this an A2 card as opposed to a 5x7? We just used it to make another cute little card. We just used it to make the card. Darling, right? Don't throw it away. Make a cute little gift card. Little tag for a bag. They fit perfectly on there. And then Miss Claire put together a cute little note set if you were going to give to somebody, using each of the 4 stamps that you get with the coffee set. All right, holy smokes artichokes. Well, we get what we get and we don't pitch a fit, right? No gush pad. Oh well. But I remembered blueprints. Wahoo! And I hope that you had a good time. I hope you learned something today. I hope you saw that even though it looks complicated and it may take you 1 or 2 tries to get it down, 4 pieces of tape, 2 pieces of paper, as long as you remember that, it's not overwhelming. You can do this. And just like a kid, when you open up that pop-up book and the Wicked Witch appears, well, we don't have any Wicked Witches for these. When the Easter Bunny appears, you can do the same thing for these cards. Because who doesn't like a surprise? And who doesn't love a handmade surprise, which is what you're giving them since you've made the card yourself. All right, we've got all of this product on sale. It is not part of a ships when it ships. We are back to normal shipping time frames. Mind you, we are delayed due to COVID-19, and there is information about that on our website on the homepage. But oh my gosh, too much fun and really very smart and easy. Easy to do and a very smart idea. So kudos to Arc on Wild and Friends all those years ago when they came up with this. All right, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. That's where you're going to find all of the product, and I will see you next week. Bye.